I am no Jedi. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
You're stuck with me, Sky Guy.
Ahsoka Tano! Bo-Katan sent me.
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
I'll say this much. They're not dead.
This is what I was meant to do.
Hello explorers and welcome. It's currently nearly 4 a.m. We've completed both the Ahsoka episodes over in the UK. Jimmy, what time is it?
We're looking at 9:47 p.m., so not too bad, although I'm old and I'm usually in bed by this point. But it's not 4 a.m., so I'm good.
Nice, strong effort. Can't wait to get to bed. However, I think the hype train's absolutely kept me going through this.
Oh, yeah, you got to be buzzing.
Oh, yeah. Straight off the bat, unbelievable first two episodes. What's your first initial thoughts? Just a quick summarise.
Everything I expected and more. Dave, I mean, if it continues like this, just these little nuggets, these little, I don't even know how to put it into words. I looked at my wife and I was like, I feel like a giddy little schoolboy. Like, it's seeing these characters in live action. Like, I honestly, like, I hate to admit this out loud, but I was almost moved to tears. And that's saying something for me because I don't cry very often. But like, I still started getting like emotional, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah,
and I'm just like, this is the culmination of so much for all these fans, for Dave Filoni, for just. I think that, like, just talking about it right now, I feel a little overwhelmed. Like, just blown away.
This is Dave's life work now coming to fruition. Like you said, I feel now that the passing of the baton is complete in a weird way. It's like, obviously George Lucas obviously knows what's going on, he's seen all this, but I think from an outside point of view, he'd be like, he's the guy to take this forward now. He's happy to go, you know what, you are the man, the woman, whatever you want to do, you do it.
Yeah, I would think that George is one proud Jedi Master to see his Padawan pass his test, become a Jedi Knight, and now he's on the council. So it just, again, I mean, it's so crazy that a story can do this for us because, it's all made up, it's all silly. But I just I'm like on cloud nine right now. I'm probably going to go back and put it on after we get off here because I'm not going to be able to go to sleep, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I'll rewatch it to see the little things I missed. So, but amazing. And so real quick, I talked to Luke Bly from Star Wars Sessions, and I okayed it with him, but he has this theory. He was talking about this on their show a couple weeks ago, where Dave Filoni has been thinking about this series for so long.
Oh yeah,
and has been editing it and fixing it in his mind, and I mean, it shows in those first two episodes. The characters, the storyline, just jumping straight into it, the battles. I mean, it has everything.
Yeah, 100%. So the plan is obviously for this Ahsoka HQ episode, then we're just going to briefly go over a few things, what we've seen, what we like. We'll start from the ground up, so to speak. I'll just quickly kick us off with something that I think's synonymous with Star Wars, and that's the music. I thought the scores were absolutely fantastic. The music and how it was used to create the scenes throughout, fantastic. Kevin Kilner again, absolutely blew it out the water. Really, really loved how the music was used. What about you, Jimmy? What did you think?
Man, I kind of dialed into this music. Huge. I mean, my playlist on Spotify when I'm doing work is all Kevin Kilner Clone Wars stuff. So to be able to hear this, just these little themes and how he mixes, and just, I cannot wait to be able to listen to this music.
Yeah.
Like, I want to put this on the playlist, push play, get some work done, just get caught up in it. But yeah, knocked it out of the park. I hope that anything Dave does, including his movie eventually, that Kevin is the man moving forward. He has earned it. There is no doubt. Like, other than John Williams and all these directors or musicians, they've all done a really great job. Like all the music, and then people
Oh, yeah.
we know. But man, Kevin gets Star Wars music like Dave Filoni gets Star Wars, and they're just
Yeah.
a beautiful. They're just perfect together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's good
shout.
that he's brought
Just-
him back from the Clone Wars. He's got that
Yeah.
team, that consistency throughout. Another thing as well, we'll bring up again, just starting from sort of the ground level upwards. The planets, loved going to all the different planets. Lothal, loved it. Corellia, love Corellia, absolutely love Corellia.
Yes, I mean to see that scene, that highway. I think we talked about this before when we talked about the trailers, but to see that in live action, I was just like, oh my gosh, like it's Lothal, and I don't know, it was just again, like I said, I feel like a giddy little schoolboy right now.
That highway is
Yeah.
such a big deal because it's synonymous again in a lot of the Rebel episodes.
Yeah,
It's in the first one when Ezra's first about to join the
Very
Rebels.
first- yeah, like oh yeah,
It's
the first
massive.
scene,
There's little
chasing.
bonus Easter eggs.
yes, it was so good. So we got a crawl. What'd you think of
Yes.
that?
Yeah, nice little touch.
Oh,
I thought that was
that was
epic.
it was all in red.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
ominous. Oh my goodness, the music kind of creepy behind it. Just oof.
It's that eeriness. It's like that eeriness.
Yes,
Um,
yeah,
something else again. The ships throughout, amazing. Loved all the ship
yeah.
stuff.
They looked. Yeah, I know you love your ships, man. There were
Yeah.
so many. I cannot wait to get the Legos on September
Mate,
1st.
it's going to be so much.
Might have to take a day off work.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife, but
Yeah, the ships looked fantastic. Again, the use of
Oh,
sound
my
effects
goodness.
with the ships, the sound effects throughout. There's pieces there that were used in some of the games as well that stuck out to me. But yeah, just sticking with the ships, the Phantom 2 looked amazing as well when that was taken off. I thought that was absolutely awesome.
I think that the only thing I'm mad about, we didn't see the ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, please, 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 show me the
Yeah.
ghost, show me the
Yeah.
ghost. And we didn't get it, but it's all right. It makes me, man, it's going to be a long week waiting
Oh, yeah.
for episode 3. So it's a
We've
good
got-
thing we
we've got a
can't
lot
binge
to
these.
cover.
I would be up until forever. I would finish it tonight.
100%.
Yeah.
Just sticking with the sort of the ship theme as well, the droids. I absolutely love that new droid. Is it Huang? Huang, is it how you pronounce it?
Yes, so that's the droid from Clone Wars who takes,
Wow.
he's kind of a K2SO, little snarky. In both episodes, he's got his comic relief. David Tennant,
Yeah.
From Doctor Who and from Harry Potter, just knocks it out of the park. But yeah, he is awesome, and they used it so well. They used him really, really well in this, and just one thing I have on my notes was how well they just dumped a little bit of information here and there throughout the. It wasn't like this big exhibition dump, like, hey, here's all this backstory, blah.
Yeah.
Just little, if you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't watched it, you may have to go back and start putting things together. But I think if you watch this and you haven't watched Rebels, you're going to go watch Rebels after you've seen these 2
100%.
episodes. But yeah, I thought that
100%.
was fantastic. And Huang was a big part of that. He's kind of dropping little nuggets about, in the 500 years I've held Padawans, mate.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Like, and he was this little snarky and, I don't know. It was really, really good.
Yeah, he's quite a big character in terms of a lot of dry humour. It's not just another droid, so to speak. I loved seeing the HK assassin droids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They were amazing to see as well. Really cleverly designed. Love seeing a live action chopper. Wow. That droid alone, you could make a show on.
Well, I have my brother. I told him he's to record Hank's reaction when Chopper comes on. So hopefully we'll have that for Sunday's show.
Yes.
Play that for everybody because I just can't imagine. Because I got giddy. I can imagine what Hank was probably freaking out. So, but yeah, it was really good. I feel like people are gonna be like, this guy is a shill or whatever. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I don't look for negative stuff or bad stuff. I've got 1 or 2 things I'm a bit like about, but we'll go into that later on.
Yeah.
But genuinely, the overall thoughts, like, yeah, blown it out of the water massively. Absolutely loved it. So I spoke a little bit about the droids and the Chopper. I think from this point forward, what we will say is this is going to start being a bit of a spoiler alert now. So if you've not seen the episodes, me and Jimmy are going to start diving into the episodes 1 or 2 a bit more. So if you haven't seen them, stop it here, go and watch episodes, then come back to us.
Yeah, 100%.
So first thing we'll go through then is some of the characters, what our thoughts were on those characters, what we thought they looked like, and just our genuine opinions. I'll start us off. We'll start nice and easy. We'll go straight with General Syndulla. I thought, again, brilliant live action. Morgan Elizabeth pulled it off really well. She still kept that character from Rebels, which again, it's not going to be easy because it's an animated series. It didn't feel like it was a new General Syndulla, if that makes sense.
Not at all. Not at all.
The best way I can describe what I'm trying to get at is when you have someone playing a character and then someone leaves and then someone takes over that character, you sort of have to get that relationship with the character. Prime example of that's going to be The Witcher.
Yes.
But yeah,
or the doctors in Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
like, I struggle with that every time. I mean, I haven't finished those seasons because sometimes I just can't get behind them.
Yeah, but massive credit to Morgan Elizabeth instead. Okay, absolutely brilliant. Loved the costume as well. Loved the little rank badge, little snippet. She's still got a bright yellow trousers, good to go. The goggles, everything's there.
She looked spot on. She still got that space mom, pushing Ahsoka and Sabine back together. Yeah. Just like she did in all of her, it's just like when she forced Ezra and Zeb to go out and bond when they hated each other. She's bringing them back. And Space Mom, she looks amazing. Action was awesome. She's kicking ass as a pilot. Her and Chopper's relationship is right there. Chopper's, being crazy, but yeah, she's amazing. People who are complaining about her they probably just need to stop. Like, just relax. It was awesome.
Give it a chance. I think she did really well. Going to Sabine again, same thing as well. Got a bit more arrogance about her. Kind of not quite childlike. But no, again, I thought she absolutely pulled that off as well with Sabine. I was a bit and all in the fight scene where she's taking on Shin. I thought she took the lightsaber to the gut very well.
Yeah, she did.
She took that quite well. But no, again, overall, the little golden nuggets, the snippets, her pulling out the armor, putting a helmet on.
That was
going from animation to live series. It's like the bar's been set.
Yeah, it's been set very, very high. So yeah, Sabine was awesome. What was her name? Natasha. She was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, that there's so much more we need to find out about what happened. Yeah. I mean, Wu-Wang straight up tells her she sucks at the Force, but, so that's got me curious, like if she's not really in tune with the Force, what's going on. But as far as the acting and her taking that character, just like you said about Hera, from animated to live action, they've done a great job. Yeah.
And it mentioned about her being trained by Ahsoka from Rebels, but from my understanding, I'm thinking back on what I've seen as well, Ahsoka didn't really train Sabine that much. I always thought it was Kanan that did the majority of the training with her.
Well, I think they're talking off screen, personally. Because I think that, the only time I saw that I can remember training, and I'm only in the season 1 of my rewatch with Rebels, but from what my memory is, Kanan and Ezra out there training her, and I think that this training must have happened off screen.
Yeah, I think so. I think at some point, Ahsoka's tried to teach her after the Rebels had finished.
Yeah,
and it's not quite worked out.
No, there's something going on, and there's a lot of little things like that I know Dave's going to answer. He does a great job He always did in Clone Wars, and he did in Rebels as well. But yeah, I mean, and they just give you enough, you know. And if you're, you know, my wife was watching with me, and she's like, "Ooh, she goes space drama," you know. So and
Nice.
and then she also made a comment when we started episode 2. She goes, "This is a lot of strong women." I was like, "It is," and it was cool for her to see that and say that, and you know, appreciates. I think she appreciates it.
Yeah.
So
Well, like I said on Sunday's episode, a lot of it's coming out now.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's brilliant. So yeah, Sabine, again, just like I said, we're trying to keep it quick, wrap it up a little bit with Sabine. The next character to talk about, Ahsoka. Don't really need to say anything. Don't really need to say anything.
You know, the only thing that still bothers me, and even, like I said, I'll keep referencing Molly on this because she's not dialed into Star Wars like I am, but she's like, oh, her voice. And I was like, that is my only thing. And I know it's stupid, and I'm not going to be one of those fans. I'm not complaining. It just sounds like Rosario Dawson to me.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to talk to Kathleen tomorrow because that's her big hang up on it. But I do think as more as this show goes on, the more we hear Rosario, the more she becomes the older Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Ashley Eckstein will be younger, you know, young teenage Ahsoka, right before, you know, and then Rosario is going to take it, and we're all going to be like, okay,
yeah,
you know, these are 2 stages of her. So
I
awesome.
I think with it it's awesome as well. You can see that development and that, because at the minute, I think with Ahsoka, what we've seen in these first 2 episodes, she's cut everyone off because she's been let down so much in the past. So she is quite conceited. She's not exactly like you said there, Jimmy. To be fair, you hit it on the head. Ahsoka, when we first met her, was a young, bubbly teenager, loving life. Nothing could go wrong. Let's not forget, she's been through the trauma mill big time. So now, in this, you can see that in this. Like, I love that, and she's much more developed. I want to say you can tell how wise she is because of how she's speaking. She's a lot more slower. She's not as jumping into stuff as headlong as she used to.
She's not as brash as she was when she was younger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she has definitely learned.
And I think out of all the characters, I think Rosario's had probably the most difficult one to adapt to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, you're bringing one of the, I mean, what will become, I mean, I put Ahsoka in the iconic characters category for Star Wars. She's up there with Luke, Leia, Han, all of them. I mean, I don't even separate her, even though she was animated up until this point. So I think she's that top tier echelon. So yeah, she had a lot of pressure, and they adapted her. The Laku, that looks awesome. She looks awesome. So yeah,
and the fight scenes were brilliant.
Oh, yeah, she was phenomenal.
She can move.
Creative, just like she was in Clone Wars. I mean, she actually uses some of the moves we see in like season 7 of Rebels, and just really good. It was really good.
The only thing I've picked up on, and again, this is not really picky. Well, it is, I'd say it's really picky actually, is how she holds her lightsabers. So you notice a lot of the old time with Ahsoka, she used to hold her lightsabers further down the hilt towards the pommel. Whereas in this, and you watch it back and you'll see what I mean, and the explorer that listens to this, you'll see what I mean is she's holding the lightsabers now to the point where she's almost touching the blade.
I did not pick up on that. I did pick up on the fact that she doesn't hold them in reverse like she did when she was... But that's pretty hard, I think, to bring onto live action. I didn't really like it in The Rise of Skywalker, so I'm kind of glad they're sticking away from it. But Rosario has talked about how difficult it was for her to bring her left hand. I think she's right-handed, you know, but whatever her dominant hand is, she said she had to work really, really hard for her other hand to feel as fluid. And so, I think I'm assuming it gets better as we go. Yeah, that's something I did not notice. So that's impressive, especially for it being 3:00 in the morning for you.
Never switch off. Yeah. Next thing, the next character we'll bring up then is Marok, the masked. Well, I want to say Sith, but we don't even know that.
No, I'm trying to tell what kind of body is inside that suit. Is it a man? Is it a woman?
Who are
Is it gonna
you?
pop off as an it? Who are you? What are you? Like, you cannot tell from the stance. Hasn't said a word, and that just makes it even more mysterious, not having even spoken or whatever yet. And just, yeah, I'm excited to find out this backstory. There's so many backstories.
Oh, there's loads. Is it going to be another brother of Morland Savage? Who knows?
Oh, geez. Yeah,
Just
who
chuck that
knows?
one
Like,
out there.
even, yeah. He's too tiny, though, I think, because Savage was
He's
massive.
quite small. He's quite small.
But, yeah, he or she, I'm not ruling out that it's a female either, though.
No.
So, I know we have our theories. I want it to be Varys just to tie up that storyline.
It's a he.
But
it's definitely a he because when what's the woman's name? Morgan
Elsbeth.
Yeah, I kept thinking that earlier. But with her, she said to Balon, make sure he doesn't fail that task on Corellia. So we know. I'm pretty sure she said that. So we know it's a he.
All right.
I'm sure.
All right, but we thought Enfys Nest was a he too, though, for an hour and a half.
And that's also true. Yeah.
We'll see, though. You could be absolutely right, though.
Yeah. Cool. So that's pretty much Marek Nipser. Like we say, we don't really know too much about that person. I'm pretty sure it's a he because of what Morgan said to Balon, which leads us nicely into our next characters. We'll do these two as this duo as a two, obviously. So Shin and Balon. Go on, Jimmy. Start us off with Balon because I know you're a big fan.
First of all, I've found my new cosplay.
Yeah.
I've already looked over at Molly and was like, "Can you make that?" And she's like, "I'm going to start." Because he looks so amazing. He looks like what a Jedi, like an older Jedi. He's exactly what I picture as a Jedi. I mean, I don't know where he's at, but he is as advertised. He gets on that ship at the beginning and he just tries to walk through and not cause any trouble. Like, he's not trying to lay waste to anybody.
Yeah.
But as soon as they stop him, he lays waste to everybody. And then, later on, he talks about, what a shame it'll be to kill Ahsoka. And Morgan's like, oh, sentimental. He's like, no, the truth. I love this character. So,
yeah, you can tell he's been around the block. Yeah. And when Huang was talking about his lightsaber and that, and said that this guy, who he is, and he's survived Order 66. Something else I picked up on is with Ahsoka, she can sort of feel the Force, the past events through the Force, whereas Balon, with what Morgan was saying to him, he sort of foresees the future because she asks him, doesn't she? Like, what do you see?
What do you see? And he dives into it, and but yeah, he looks amazing. He's nothing. He doesn't say anything he doesn't need to say. He's just like right to. I mean, he feels like a prequels Jedi.
He oozes power, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Just swagger and power. And I am curious about what he's talking about, though. Like, more power. Like, what does he want? Like, what's in it for him?
What's the end goal here?
4 stars, this, and then for us, power. So I wonder.
Yeah.
He has everyone in this show. They all have their own angle, and I think. But I'm like, we only have 6 more episodes, so that some of these episodes have got to be a little bit longer because there's a lot to get through.
There's a hell of a lot.
And then Shin was awesome. She can look. I thought she looked like when she was with Balon, she kind of looked meek and like under his shadow. But then when she was by herself, she was fierce. She wasn't messing around.
There's a lot of anger there, isn't there?
Yeah. So I'll say it again. Backstory. Like, I want the backstory. I don't care if it's a comic, a book. Yeah. I hope we see it live action. So I hope it survives through this. I kind of have a feeling she's not going to. It's going to be like you got one for Sabine, you got one for Ahsoka kind of deal. So we'll see what happens.
Well, who's going to be taking on Marek?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So Ezra shows back up and starts. Yeah.
But throughout the 2 episodes with Shin, again, I know you, because I'm definitely will, but we're going to watch it back again. There's something going on with her eyes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
is she like? Is she? I thought at first, is she an android? Is she a droid?
Oh, that's something that have they ever had that in Star Wars? I mean, not that it can't be done. But that would be like a Blade Runner kind of thing.
Yeah,
which would be cool.
There's a few scenes and shots where the camera goes straight to her, and it's looking at her eyes, and there's something going on with her eyes, like a processing. So I don't know. There's something that's drawing me to her eyes.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about too. I think first off, I've never seen her anything else, and I thought she was fantastic. And with those eyes, I think you were talking about. It's like that's what I was talking about, Laura. I feel like when she's with Baylan, she's like meek and she's like, "Oh, master." But when she's on her own, she just boom flips that switch, and she's ready to go. And if they are a Sith duo, which I don't think they are, they don't seem to have this because he's not cruel to her.
No.
She seems very comfortable with him. So I think it's just was a dark Jedi, I guess. I mean, I know
she has called him master.
Yeah. So, but yeah, excellent. I mean, the casting, the acting, the stories. I mean, they are knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, big time. And then the last character I think we'll touch on is Morgan. I think you called it on one of our predictions that she is a Night Sister.
Yeah, well, like I said, Star Wars Explained, Alex Damon, he came out when they dropped that clip and he caught that green fire, which was impressive because if you go back and look at that trailer, there's just this little square, there's this green flame that comes up. And I from what I've seen, he was like the first one, but it seems like it was just common, like everyone just accepted it. And then of course tonight they solidified that she is a Witch of Dathomir, and I need another backstory.
In terms of marketing and stuff like that, like again, like you keep saying, there's so many opportunities now for books, for comics. So they've played it masterfully, haven't they? They really have.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're 2 episodes in, and I'm like, I need this, I need this, I need this. This is enough to feed us for. Like we'll just be eating on this for a long time. We'll be going back and dissecting things, and so I thought, and we didn't get a lot of her in Mando, but she has this connection. She's really kind of letting the Dathomir, the Night Sister fly, because she's like, oh, he's calling to me, and all that stuff. So,
but it's interesting to see.
So loyal to him.
That's my point. I was about to say why.
Because he would have been around. Well, he wouldn't have been around during the Clone Wars, though. You know what I mean? Because he would have. Like, how did she survive that massacre? I mean, now we have 2 Night Sisters. We've got Merrin and we've got Morgan. So, do they know each other? You know, like. So there's a lot to.
Could we get a live action Cal Kestis in this?
Oh man, I'm telling you what. When they showed the 2 galaxies in the line through it, I thought it was Talinor.
We'll come on to this in a minute.
I still think it could just be a different name. And what they land there, and there's Cal, and there's Ezra hanging out, being Jedi, training Jedi, and now you have all your Jedis for Rey to, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
out with the Order, the new Jedi Council.
Yeah. So, but that thing too. I guess the special effects. People were complaining about like volume, and I've been a massive complainer about the volume. I think they do a terrible job with it sometimes. There are a couple little things, but overall, I thought it was fantastic.
Oh yeah. The use of volume is fantastic.
I mean, I'm very picky. It takes me out of it all the time. Kenobi was horrendous, I thought, and this was, man, it looked so good. Like it looked beautiful.
Visually, it was awesome.
And that space map or star map or whatever they're calling it. Special effects with that where it glows.
Yeah, I love that.
I want to have one of those sitting on my shelf.
The
So
only
cool.
thing I'd wish with these episodes is a bit. I wish I had a cinema to watch it in. Those guys that were lucky enough to watch it in IMAX. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, because I watched the last 3 episodes of season 7 at Anaheim. They showed it on the big screen, and it's just a different experience. And then
It's
being
like
with
when
all
we
those
watched
people,
Mando as well in Celebration London.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's pretty much, I think, all the characters. There's a few more things that I've seen or nuggets or things I want to talk to you about. So, first thing, I'll just start from the top. It has got that old school feeling, like people have been saying. Definitely got the old school feeling. The music score. The music score is brilliant. We've mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy how the New Republic is now like the Empire with like the ranks and how it's all used. And I love how it's continuing on from the Mandalorian season 3, where we have our first look at people adapting to the new Empire.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's obviously being shown again. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Balon as well, like we're saying, we're not sure if he's a Jedi, a Sith, etc. He mentions that he's being paid well to keep his word, which tells me that he's a mercenary bounty hunter / when he first rescues Morgan from that prison.
Where's he been? Like, how's he tied out? Like, how's he not tracked down? He's not afraid to use his force powers, but maybe, and Shin she looks to be, mid-20s maybe? So, he's been training her for a while. She's very capable.
There'd be a good backstory on that. Next thing I've noticed, and this is more, not advice if you like, but a top tip, is every time there's like a scene where it's quiet and it's sort of focused around one character, try not to get sucked in to looking into that character. So, for example, where she's feeding a cat, there's a collection of helmets in the background with Sabine.
I saw that, yeah.
And Stormtrooper helmets, Scout Trooper helmets. And it's seen better when she's first waking up. Which leads me on to my next point. When she wakes up, she sort of shouts, Ezra, or hears him. And it's like that connection with Rey and Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. But we know with that connection, that was bridged by Snoke. So if that's the case, if they have got a connection, then who's bridging that one? Because like you said, and Kirango already said that she's rubbish with the Force.
Yeah, it's true.
So someone's bridging it.
Either that or Ezra's gotten really powerful while he's been abandoned.
Yeah.
My question is, how does this ancient star map, know where he's at? That might be like kind of a plot hole, maybe, and maybe they'll explain it. I trust Dave to probably come back around and explain it, but it's kind of weird that something that looks like it's been buried for, millennia has a map and it points straight to Thrawn. I don't know.
Because he just jumped on the space. Because the space whales just took him straight there, didn't they? They didn't even know where they were going.
Bounced. So they just foretold what it was. So my wife said very Indiana Jonesy in that season, that opening scene, and then I had Fifth Element vibes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Another thing, there's obviously trust issues between Ahsoka and Sabine. And I put down as well, did Ahsoka fail to train or refuse to train Sabine? But I think she just outright refused to train Sabine.
Yeah, I think that things just got too difficult, maybe. Which kind of bums me out a little bit.
Yeah.
That, like Kanan and Ezra started off pretty rough.
Really rough.
And they had their back and forth where Ezra would get mad and he's leaning towards the dark side with Maul, and he never quit on them. But maybe they needed time. Who knows? Those relationships, like in real life, they might need time. And I thought it was a really good setup when Hera's like, "Well, how do you know when someone's ready?" And then Sabine or Ahsoka's like, "They'll just know," and so will I. And then they run into each other, and she's like, "I'm ready," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, she is! Let's go!" So I thought that was really well done. I was a little worried about some sappy writing, but man, dialogue really good. Connectivity really good, so I'm pumped.
Something else that popped out to me is if you look at the armor of Shin Hati, and and Balin, it's like General Kenobi's Clone Wars armor.
Mm.
Like the layout.
Well, it would have been his. It would have been his style, right? Because if he was Anakin's age or around Anakin's age, that's the style he would be comfortable for him.
Maybe
for
Shin's
Balin.
like one of the younglings that Balin saved or something.
Yeah, but she'd be really old by now. I mean, unless she's just, like Bo-Katan and doesn't age or whatever. But yeah, again, backstory. We need some.
We need a lot more, I think, with that. Yeah, definitely. In a good way. When we were on Corellia, it was good to see the Star Destroyers being disassembled as well in the background.
So cool. Yes.
Nice little pickup on that.
And I was, when we were watching, I'm like, oh, that's where Han Solo's from.
Yeah.
So
I love Corellia. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is there's a link there between Jedi Survivor and this with those maps. So like you were saying earlier, I'm now convinced we're going to get a live action Cal Kestis at some point.
You'd be crazy not to. I guess they probably have to. I mean, I'm sure they've already figured out the story for the third one. So
whether it's in this season or the movie, we will definitely be getting a Cal Kestis. Because when it was going through all the map stuff and I was looking at the map, I'm also convinced there's something in the credits.
Those credits, dude. The credits look awesome, and the music is so good.
There's a wolf in that in the credits. So again, there's something going on with the credits, but it might just be me overlooking things or looking into it too much. But there's definitely a connection.
I want to watch this. I already told them. You guys better get ready to watch this a few more times because any chance I get, that's going on. But
no, overall, if we're going to rate the episodes, then a 10. So episode 1 for me, out of 10, a good strong 9. Personally,
I will give it 9 loath cats out of 10 loath cats.
easily. 9 loath cats, definitely. Really good build up. It left you wanting more. The combat was brilliant.
Oh,
all the acting was at score.
If we would have got that one episode and it ended the way it did, and I had to wait till next Tuesday, I'd have been like going out of my mind the way that episode 1 ended. So I was like, how? But definitely 9 easily. I don't want to give it a 10. I want to give it a 10 because I'm so hyped, but I just don't know. I know the finale is probably going to be amazing. There's stuff coming out for episode 5, and there's some kind of thing they're making. Disney Plus is going to release for right when episode 5 comes out. So I don't want to give it a 9 or a 10, even though right now emotionally I'm like 10.
That's the thing. We don't want to jump too high up. Same with episode 2. I'd easily give it another 8.5 or 9 loath cats as well.
Yeah, I'm literally in the same spot. 8.5, 9 loath cats.
But we've got to be careful, like you say, because our emotions are high. We've waited for so long. We feel like it's delivered. I just hope it doesn't go down the route like Mando did of not stupid episodes or silly episodes, but some of the episodes I thought were unnecessary. Or I was like,
well, there's still a lot of stuff from the trailers we haven't seen.
Yes.
And so, I mean, we're talking about the space whales. We're talking about some other stuff. Just at one point, I think Ahsoka's dressed in one of the officers' uniforms from the New Republic. When she comes up to the ship, she's dressed, and so I think I just think it's going to be a wild ride. Yeah,
it's going to be a wild ride. Wild ride.
Wild ride.
But I don't think there's anything else really, Jimmy, that's left to talk about. I think we covered quite a lot. Any more points from you?
Path of Peridea. I want to know about this.
Yeah.
All right. Is that just another name for Tanalorr? Is it not? I'm trying to think here. I'm just kind of going through my notes real quick. I put Space Age Rubik's Cube for the space map. That was pretty cool.
Who are the people that she's talking about as well?
Yeah.
So
Governor Azadi. That was cool to see Governor Azadi at the beginning. That was a pretty cool tie back, and he looked really good.
Yeah.
But I can't think of his name right now. Again, it's late, and we'll have time to kind of talk about it on Sunday a little bit. But yeah, I just think, again, like you said, they knocked it out of the park. I mean, I don't know what people are complaining about. I'll be curious. Like, I'm really excited tomorrow to get up and start listening to other review shows, because I really want to hear what people say. And, and that's the great thing about these podcasts too, is we can go on there and then we can, and you can hear theirs, you can listen to the guys and talking about stuff, and you're like, oh, they picked up on this. And, we are missing Taylor. She is ill. And I really wish she was with us, but because she always sees things a little bit differently than you and I, because you and I are always very close in our thoughts, and Taylor sometimes sees things a little bit differently. But hopefully she's feeling better on Sunday, and she can bring a little bit of her attitude and her personality into it. So, and she can, but yeah, it was awesome. Awesome.
And then the last thing I will bring in, because we've just had a comment come straight through from Clan Brandalorian. He said 10 out of 10. Filoni is showing his worth. This has so much potential, and I'm ready. So I think he's just echoing what we've already said there. I totally agree with you.
My phone is blowing up from people.
Yeah.
Just like, what do you? And I didn't want to. At first, I was gonna be like, text me what you think, but I wanted to talk about us, and then hopefully, like I said, when we record on Sunday for next Tuesday, we're going to ask people what they're thinking and feeling and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm excited to hear what people have to say. That
pretty much wraps it up for the show today. Again, just please like, share, subscribe to us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Feel free to email us at exploretheforce@gmail.com.
Voice notes.
Send it all through. Yeah. It'll get read out. And yeah, what we want to hear from now is, what's your predictions going forward for next week's show? Who's your favourite character and why? And what's been the standout moment or moments from episodes 1 and 2?
Very cool.
Cool. So, without any delay then from myself, we are No Jedi.
Oh, man. We have spoken.
Awesome.
Go to bed, Jack.
Cannot wait. See you later.
I'll see you, bud.